Hello viewers, and a very warm welcome here to the Bavarian city of Munich. What a beautiful location it is, and it's the 2011 BMW Open. This is day number 3 of this great event, the first of 5 events to be staged here in Germany in 2011. And we've had an interesting first couple of days, and our first match on the court, centre court I should say today, Marcus Baghdatis, the number 4 seed from Cyprus, the man who broke a 6-match losing streak on Monday. He's back out here in second round action, and he's taking on the young man Grigor Dimitrov from Bulgaria. The young man on the rise, just 19 years of age is Dimitrov. Sure to be an intriguing match, and this is part of the top half of the draw. As mentioned, Marcus Baghdatis, the number 4 seed. The winner of this match will face Florian Mayer, the number 5 seed, who will be taking on 𝕽𝖆𝖆𝖵𝖔𝖃. That will be the third match of the day here on the centre court. Well, the second match is going to be another intriguing match. First look on television at the number 1 seed and defending champion Mikhail Yuzhny of Russia. And well, he'll be taking on a man who was in fine form yesterday, Philipp Petschner from Germany. I was very impressed with the young German's play, and that is going to be an intriguing match, I'm sure. And when you look at the prior head-to-head of those two, well, not too much separating them. But first of all, let's have a look at these two players. Grigor Dimitrov, 19 years of age. He stands at 1m88 or 6'2". He turned professional in 2008. He's a right-handed player who's banked, well, just over 270,000 American dollars so far. He's currently ranked 69 in the world, a career high for the 19-year-old. Well, this is his third event on the clay for the year. He's been playing a lot on the Challenger series, so we haven't really seen him too much on the ATP. He has a record to date on the ATP of 9 wins and 16 losses. He's yet to claim an ATP title, but has 4 Challenger titles as well as 6 future titles to his name. He's a young man on the rise, and I really am looking forward to seeing the teenager in action today. And a bit of support from the Bulgarian locals here in Germany, and they'll be getting boisterous, I'm sure, to get in behind the young man. Well, his opponent, he's been around a long time, the number 4 seed, Marcus Baghdatis from Cyprus, 25 years of age, who stands 1m83 or 6 foot. He turned professional in 2003. As you can see, currently ranked 25 in the world, but, well, we all know, a former top 10 player reaching a career high of number 8 in August of 2006. He ended 2010 ranked number 20, so he's dropped down a little bit, dropping out of the top 20 players in the world. He's been in somewhat of a slump, you could say, in 2011, but we all know he's got potential, a very good player indeed, and, well, a Grand Slam finalist, and, well, that says it all in itself, really. He's banked 4.2 million American dollars so far in his career as Baghdatis, with a record of 184 wins to 119 losses. And, well, unlike his opponent, he does have ATP titles to his name. In fact, he has 4. His last being in January of last year in Sydney at the Medibank, a tournament that he loves, a tournament that he says, well, is his best on the tour. Well, as you can see, a first time meeting between these two players. Of course, Dimitrov still making his name on the ATP. Currently ranked 69, and he's improved up those rankings very quickly indeed. 𝕽𝖆𝖵𝖃𝖆, a very experienced adjudicator on the ATP. He will be in the chair for this match. Well, the weather is at the moment looking okay, I have to say. Currently 13 degrees, partly cloudy. As you see, a slight breeze from the southeast, but, well, the weather forecast does not look good for later on today. We're expecting a high of 18 degrees, but they are expecting thunderstorms to hit Munich with a 90% chance of rain. So not looking too hopeful, but fingers crossed that will just bypass the venue here and we will be able to conclude day number 3. And it's an intriguing day. There's still 6 Germans alive in the main draw. Of course, all the second round matches to be played today and tomorrow. Quarterfinals on Friday, semi-finals on Saturday, and of course the grand finale, the one we've all been waiting for, will take place on Sunday afternoon. Well, I have to say, the 𝕽𝖆𝖆𝖃 Tennis Centre is a fantastic venue, one of the best on the circuit, I have to say, on the 250 series event. First staged here in 1974, has a capacity of 5,600 people. Well, we're nowhere near that at the moment, but quite a few hundred here. Very impressed with the turnout so far this week, considering it is still a work week here in Munich. But come Saturday, Sunday, I'm fairly sure we will have a full house here at the 𝕽𝖆𝖃 Tennis Club.
Ladies and gentlemen, Baghdatis Baghdatis, and then to serve. Time.
So time is called from the chair. Baghdatis just having his final service warm-up, and that's an area that will need to improve today. It's an area that really has let him down so far in 2011. In fact, he has a first serve percentage of the year of under 50%, 49%. Very, very low considering he's a top 25 ranked player. Well, he did improve in his first round match where he picked it up somewhat. He put down 12 aces in his match against the French veteran Julien Benneteau. That match taking 1 hour 14 minutes. He came out on top in a tie-break first set, well, 6-3 in the second. So signs of improvement from a struggling Marcus Baghdatis. As mentioned, he broke a 6-match losing streak on Monday. So he'll be looking to try and continue that momentum. He had a poor showing in his last event at the 1000 Masters, being knocked out in the opening round to Radek Stepanek from the Czech Republic. So it's going to be Baghdatis at the top of your screen to get us underway. Game number 1. Well, he really is a character, very well liked on the ATP, is Marcus Baghdatis. Really does have a relaxed and smooth style to his play. And look out for that powerful forehand. He really does work the points well. First point on the board for Dimitrov. And well, as mentioned, a young man on the rise, and he's been given a lot of accolades from a lot of well-respected players on the circuit as well as coaches. A lot of people, in fact, have compared him to the great Roger Federer. Of course, those two shared the same coach for a short while there. Oh, coming down to close the space. Too slow, though, from Dimitrov. All too easy down the line for Baghdatis. Just almost putting a little bit too much on that drop shot from the young Bulgarian. Easy as you like in game number 1 for the number 4 seed. An impressive start from the service line, and well, that could be a sign of things to come from the 25-year-old. Well, he's been criticised in the past as Grigor Dimitrov as having a poor return of service, and it's an area that he needs to be on top form today if he's going to have any chance of upsetting the number 4 seed and moving on to the quarterfinals on Friday. And if he is able to move on to the quarterfinals, it would be his very first, his maiden quarterfinal appearance on the ATP. So a lot to play for the young 19-year-old. Well, he really is an aggressive player, the 19-year-old. Better suited to the hard surface, but he has had a fair bit of success on the clay in the past. In fact, he's won 5 of his 10 titles on the futures, and challenges have come on the clay. So he's able to play on the surface, although not his strongest surface by any stretch of the imagination. Well, it's a difficult shot to play there on that baseline from Dimitrov, picking it up off the half volley, a deep return from Baghdatis. So a confident start for the young man, 3 straight points on his opening serve. Love game first up for Dimitrov, and that will settle the nerves, that's for sure, for the young man. You just got a feeling this is going to go down to the wire between these two. No previous head-to-head. A young man on the rise, currently ranked 69 in the world, up against somewhat of a veteran, you could say. Even though it's crazy to think that Baghdatis is still just 25 years of age. It really does seem like he's been around a very, very long time. And that's that area I was talking about. The return of service is a problem in the young man's game as he tries to kickstart what could be a long and successful career on the senior level. I know he's been working hard with his coach on that area. An ace to wrap up game number 3, 223 kilometers per hour. It's been an impressive start from both players. In fact, we've just seen 1 point on the receiving end at the moment. It's the number 4 seed, ahead by 2 games to 1. Wow, this really has been an intense start to this round 2 clash between these 2 young men here on the centre court. And well, if you look at 2011 so far for Dimitrov, he has a record of 2 wins, 7 losses, and he's banked just over 94,000 American dollars, has the young Bulgarian. He had a great start going through qualifying and reaching through to the 2nd round, his best ever on a Grand Slam at the Australian Open in January, losing out to Wawrinka in that round 2 clash. Well, he's claimed 1 challenger title, his 4th of his career in France. That challenger title was in late February, while his last event was in Barcelona on the clay there, of course, at that 500 series event. And well, he lost out in the first round to the Argentine veteran Juan Monaco, going down in straight sets, 4-6, 1-6, the young man. Well, looking very solid at the service line, both players early on. Yet to drop a point on his service game for Dimitrov. Tell you what, Dimitrov is a player who's worked with some great coaches in his young career so far. In fact, worked with the Spaniard Pato Alvarez for a short while there. That was, of course, Andy Murray's former coach. Well, in 2009, he started working with Peter Lundgren, the former coach of Marit Safin and Roger Federer. In fact, Lundgren had great praise for the young man. In fact, saying he was a lot better than Federer at his same age. Well, great endorsement, really, from a top coach. He parted company with him in 2010 and started working with the Australian Peter McNamara after the Queen's tournament. And such a great junior career did this young man. In fact, claimed Grand Slam titles for the boys in Wimbledon and the US Open in 2008. A great achievement. And now just trying to make his name on the big stage as well. Well, after looking very comfortable in game number 4, we've seen straight points on the receiving end in favour of the number 4 seed Baghdatis. Very first time we go to juice. Serving himself out of trouble. A mature response from a young man. Very, very strong on that forehand side is Baghdatis. One of the best in the business. When he's on form, well, he really does strike that ball well. So an opportunity and now for the number 4 seed from Cyprus to break here in this opening set. And oh, by the way he's serving, this would be a huge turning point, you have to say, in this opening set, although it is still early days, of course. Again, just that ability to pull out the big serve when he really needs it. Well, in fact, that was an overruling on the baseline. So, with that, that was the break. There was a very, very tight call. 𝕽𝖆𝖛 having to leave the chair. So a big break there for the number 4 seed. Now finds himself ahead of break and by 3 games to 1 with the serve. Needs to dig deep now, Dimitrov. Really hasn't made any inroads into the service game of his opponent so far. That really is poor on that second serve. On the receiving end, never in control really on that one-handed backhand return. Ball just kicking up off the surface. Lovely forehand winner down the line. Patience shown once again from Baghdatis. He worked that point extremely well. Waited for that opportunity. And then quick to pounce when it arose. he could afford to do that, Baghdatis.
40-30.
Ahead by 40-15. He thought he would go through it on the second serve. Very aggressive. Doesn't pay off, though, in the end. First double fault for the Cypriot. Oh, look at that. Wonderful shot. Well, he's a delight to watch, this young man. And I'm fairly sure he could be the face of the future in men's tennis. Getting into position and loading down the line.
Baghdatis.
Well, he cashes in the end on that previous break. And now the number 4 seed in a very, very strong position. He now leads by 4 games to 1. Well, the former junior #1 ranked player in the world 3 years ago, Grigor Dimitrov from Bulgaria, well and truly on the back foot here in this opening set against a player ranked, well, 44 places higher than himself. Experienced campaigner is Marcus Baghdatis, and well, it's a delight to see him back at near his best. It's been, as mentioned, a disappointing 2011 so far for the 25-year-old. He really is a character, and the locals really do love to see him back in action on the centre court. Oh, on the run. That is a very, very difficult shot. Executed very, very well. We'll see it here on the replay. Opting to go down the line. Dimitrov on the run was Baghdatis, just bringing it across the body. Very difficult shot, played very well, you got to say. That's a lot better, more aggressive. Once again, though, relying heavily on that first up serve down the centre. All the time in the world to finish that one off. Well, an action replay. Makes it look very simple when he pulls it out like that. This would be an important hold. Imperative hold, really, for Dimitrov. So volley. Finished it off very, very nicely, did Grigor Dimitrov. Gets his second game point on the board after that disappointment of being broken in that fourth game. Now it's very important that the young man can try and make it some inroads into the service game of Baghdatis. He's really had a lot of problems on the receiving end so far in this opening 24 minutes of this match. Well, another ace from the big man. It's almost a different player we're seeing out there since he's been here in Munich after what we've seen of late from Baghdatis. He in fact got off to a fairly good start in 2011, quarterfinal in Brisbane, followed up by a third round effort at the Australian Open, then a quarterfinal appearance once again in Rotterdam. But since early February, it really has been all downhill for the Cypriot. Since early February, in fact, has only won 3 matches, lost 5. This is before this tournament, of course, and all 5 of those losses have been to lower-ranked players, and in some cases, very lower-ranked players. Casablanca losing out to Andrei Kuznetsov from Russia. Kuznetsov ranked 244 in the world, so a big disappointment there for Baghdatis. Definitely does seem to have a lot more confidence out there now, which is a great sign, positive sign. Ace number 3, thank you very much, says Baghdatis. Another comfortable hold of serve there for the Cypriot. He now leads by 5 games to 2. Just 1 game away from wrapping up this opening set. Well, when you look at the first serve percentages for these two men, Dimitrov 65% at the moment, while Baghdatis 50%, something that we're used to seeing from him. But he does have a lot of variation on that second serve, which is really paying off. In fact, Baghdatis has won 17 of his 22 service points, while for his opponent, the young Bulgarian, he's just 12 of 20. So quite a big difference there, showing that, well, he cannot make any inroads really into the service game of the Cypriot so far. Well, picking that one up from very, very low down, around the ankles. Dimitrov just couldn't control the shot in the end, though. There was open space there. Some wonderful volley play this time from the young man. And we talked about Baghdatis' fairly comfortable ride to the second round. It was fairly easy as well for Dimitrov. In fact, dispatched of Andreas Beck, the wild card from here in Germany. 6-1, 6-4 in no time at all. So both players rather fresh. They haven't spent too much time on the court. Well, if this is a sign of things to come, this is going to be a tremendous day of tennis, I have to say, here at the BMW Open. It's been an impressive start from both players. It's been action aplenty, that is for sure. Too long over the baseline. So Dimitrov continues to cling on here in this opening set. He's still down by a break, and now it will be Baghdatis with the serve and an opportunity to serve out this opening set. It was that vital break in game number 4 that has been the difference between these two players so far. Wow, that is very, very good movement, you have to say, from Dimitrov. Covered a lot of space in that rally, worked hard, and in the end, that hard work really did pay off. Needs to try and stay on the front foot now, be aggressive on the receiving end. Oh, yes. Entertaining stuff once again. Well, I'll tell you what, Dimitrov has copped quite a lot of criticism in the past about being, well, just a little bit too slow in his game. Foot movement around the baseline and around the court is just a little bit too slow, and a lot of people felt that, well, if he couldn't improve on that, then he just wouldn't make the cut on the big stage. But at the moment, from what I'm seeing here on the center court, he's moving extremely well. He's making Baghdatis work extremely hard for these points. That really has let him down in this match so far. Again, from that second serve, just spraying away on that backhand side, nowhere near the playing surface. Frustrated look on his face. 2 set points for the number 4 seed now. There's the set. Another mistake coming from the young man's end. Confident and aggressive. That's what we saw from Marcus Baghdatis, starting to find that form that really put him to the top 10 players in the world. Got him to a Grand Slam final, remember. He takes out the opening set by 6 games to 3 in 36 minutes. It was entertaining stuff. Action aplenty from both players. We saw some confident play from the young Grigor Dimitrov, but really in the end, it was his returning game of service that really did let him down. He never had a look in really on any of the service games in that opening set from Marcus Baghdatis. He's going to need to dig deep in the second set if he's to be able to stay alive here in this round 2 clash and, well, book his place into his maiden ATP quarterfinal. Well, as you can see, the locals here in Munich enjoying what has been some top-class tennis. This is day number 3 of the 2011 BMW Open. And, well, what a strong lineup it is. Once again, one of the top 250 series events, I have to say, on the ATP circuit. We have 3 former champions still in the main draw. 𝕽𝖆𝖆𝖔𝖘𝖑𝖆𝖛, defending champion from 12 months ago. Philipp Kohlschreiber, the local German who won here in 2007. And, well, the Energizer Bunny, you could say, Nikolai Davydenko, the Russian who won here in 2004. Back here once again. He's the number 7 seed. Well, the sun is still shining, which is a good thing, a very, very good thing, considering, well, we are expecting some thunderstorms to roll in later on today. But as mentioned, well, if we all cross our fingers, let's just hope that that just does not eventuate here in Munich. As mentioned, this is the first match of 4 coming your way today. At the conclusion of this round 2 clash, we'll have another 2 round 2 singles matches. The first, 𝕽𝖆𝖆𝖔𝖘𝖑𝖆𝖛, as mentioned, the number 1 seed, defending champion. He will be taking on Philipp Pichner from Germany. Very impressive display from the young German yesterday. And he'll be looking to continue that momentum across here to day number 3. Well, the third match of the day, we'll see Timoraz Gabashvili from Russia. He'll be taking on Florian Mayer, the German number 1 and number 5 seed here this week. Well, the final match of the day, we will conclude with a round 1 doubles match. Robin Haase from the Netherlands teaming up with Lukas Kubot of Poland. Those two are the number 3 seeds in the men's doubles draw. They'll be taking on, well, this young man, Grigor Dimitrov from Bulgaria. He'll be in action on the centre court for the 2nd time today, and he'll be in partnership with Philipp Pichner. So it'll be interesting to see how those two go. Very close in timing, where they'll have to be playing their 2nd match here on the 2nd court, on the main court, I should say. So 6 games to 3 in that opening set in favour of the number 4 seed. He took 31 of the 53 points on offer in that opening set. Well, the 19-year-old needs to dig deep here in set number 2. Play a tidy game. He's got the potential. He's played some wonderful shots. Just every now and then just lets himself down. Just a few uncharacteristic unforced errors we've seen early in the 2nd set from Baghdatis. Something we didn't really see too much of in that opening set. Just spraying that one wide, Dimitrov, and this is a confident start to the 2nd set. He knows he really does need to hold on to each and every one of these serves in this 2nd set. Very comfortable in game number 1 to the 19-year-old teenager, holding on very, very comfortably in the end. The service percentage hasn't been a problem in this match so far. First serve percentage so far for the Bulgarian, 70%. Well, in comparison, Baghdatis, well, keeps dropping slowly but surely. Currently first serve percentage of 41% for him. Although that ability to produce a very good second serve has kept him in the match so far. Well, put him in the driver's seat, really. 12 of 16 points from his second serve. Impressive reading for the 25-year-old. Ace number 4. He put down a whopping 12 aces on Monday in his round 1 clash against Julien Benotto. Well, Baghdatis really does have that ability to pull out the big ace when required. Before coming into this tournament, he in fact has put down 113 aces in 2011 so far, averaging about 7.5 aces per match. As mentioned, we saw 12 from him in his round 1 clash on Monday, and that's a sign that he's back at full confidence. Well, it sounds like a lot of aces, but when you look at that young Canadian on the rise, Milos Raonic, he has put down a whopping 387 aces this year so far. The young Canadian who has, well, rocketed up the rankings, came from nowhere, really, averaging 15.5 aces per match. Not bad at all. The only player on the ATP circuit to have a higher average of aces per match would be Ivo Karlovic from Croatia. The Giant has put down 346 aces with an average of 18.2 aces per match. Not bad at all. Again, Dimitrov causing no troubles at all on that receiving end. Comfortable as you like for Baghdatis. Ties the scores up 1 game apiece. First time these two players have gone head to head, and what an intriguing affair it's been so far. Although it looked fairly comfortable if you look at the scoreboard. 6 games to 3 in that opening set. It certainly wasn't that easy for Baghdatis. He was made to work extremely hard. Just catching the line, but Dimitrov's not too sure about the call. No. He agrees it just took the line, so not a bad return at all from Baghdatis. Semi-finalist here last year at the Cypriot. Looking to do the same, and if not better, here in 2011. Oh, look at that. Oh. Wow, how did Baghdatis return that? Again, on the run, we saw a shot very similar to it in that opening set. We'll catch it here on the replay. In fact, this is later on in the point. Between the legs, not coming off for Dimitrov. Well, danger zone now for the young Bulgarian. 3 break points in favour of Marcus Baghdatis. This is where he needs to pull out 3 very special serves, as you see the box there for Baghdatis, coached by 𝕽𝖆𝖆𝖆𝖆. He needed to play that with soft hands. No complaints from Dimitrov. He saves 1 break point. Still though, back well and truly up against the wall. 2 further opportunities up the sleeve for Baghdatis. Well, is it going to be a case of a 3rd time lucky for Baghdatis? Looking to break early here in set number 2. It was a mature response from Dimitrov. Really did deliver on that second service, deep and wide in the box. And he does it again. Impressive stuff. That really is. Talk about delivering under pressure from 𝕆𝖆𝖵𝖃. Brings the scores back to juice. And now he's pulling out the variation. We need to see more of that from the teenager. Needs to get himself on the front foot, cool the shots, play the rallies at his pace. Impressive stuff. Very, very impressive, you have to say, from 𝕆𝖆𝖵𝖃. He saved 3 break points, serves it out in the end. And now the Bulgarian leads by 2 games to 1. Just re-gripping the racket there, Grigor Dimitrov. It was an impressive fight back in game number 3, and that's going to give him a lot of confidence to go on here. But now he needs to bring that momentum over to the receiving end of his game. An area that has, well, been non-existent, you have to say, so far in the opening 53 minutes of this match. He really is at the top of his game now. A nice high ball toss, big serve down the center, loose return from the other end, and then, well, the drop shot played to perfection.
30 love.
Well, it's been a mixed bag today when he comes to the net, hasn't it, for Dimitrov. We've seen some delightful volleys. Also, we've seen a lot of those volleys go into the net as well. Love game this time for Baghdatis. Again, just struggling to read those second serves. Dimitrov ties the scores up at 2 games all. Tit for tat stuff here in the second set. Wonderful tennis we're witnessing here on the centre court at the 𝕽𝖆𝖆𝖃 Tennis Club. Both guys fighting it out. First time head to head. Both looking to move on to the quarterfinals. Well, we're back in that danger zone once again. Just like the previous service game from Dimitrov. Remember, Dimitrov was love 40 in his previous service game. Again, that ability to pull out the big serve, serving from that right-hand side, attacking that tee once again. Just over 200 kilometers per hour. And a slight wee smile on the dial there for the young man. He loves getting himself in a danger zone and then pulling himself out of it, that's for sure. He's done it on numerous occasions already in this match. Very Roger Federer-like, that backhand. Of course, the two shared the same coach for quite a period of time. And you really can see similarities between this young man and the great Swiss former world #1. Well, I tell you what, this young man doesn't like doing things easily, that's for sure. From love 30, once again, straight points. He's able to hold on for the 3rd time. And he puts his nose ahead here. An important second set for the 19-year-old. I've talked on numerous occasions already in this match about this weak spot, the weakness really of Dimitrov at the moment is that receiving end with regards to the service. And well, in 2011 so far, he has only won 19% of the receiving games, which is very low considering, well, Baghdatis in 2011 is 25%. Well, top 20 players are generally around the high 20% mark with regards to breaking their opponent's serve. If you look at the top guns of 2011 so far, Novak Djokovic return games won is 43%. Incredible, really, that ability to apply pressure from the receiving end. Well, his old mate at the top of the leaderboard, Rafael Nadal, the great Spaniard, his return games won 41% in 2011. A huge difference to 19% for Dimitrov. Well, you might have a strong service game. You need to be able to apply pressure from the other end. And at the moment, he just has not done it really in this match so far.
𝕼𝖃𝖃 14 low.
Love game once again for the number 4 seed. Just picking that first serve percentage up ever so slightly, the Cypriot. Ties the scores up once again at 3 games apiece. 85 points have been played so far in this match. 49 of those in favour of the Cypriot, 36 in favour of this young man.
From 15 low.
Easy as you like. That drop shot really has paid off for him today. It's been a great tactic, and it really has kept his opponent on his toes. That is scrambling to the net. In the end, opened up an easy volley down the line. Really has been an area that he's picked up on here in the second set. He's been a lot more active. Any opportunity, he's been quick to bounce to the net. You've got to say it has paid off for him so far as his coach watches on there. Love game, 2 straight love games. The server doing things very, very easy in these mid stages of the second set. Dimitrov, the young 19-year-old, ahead by 4 games to 3. Well, the young 19-year-old putting up a lot braver fight here in the second set. A lot of credit needs to go to his coach, Peter McNamara, who's done a great job with the young 19-year-old. And, of course, his coaches prior to that, Patito Alvarez and Peter Lundgren, some of the best in the business, have worked with this young, talented man.
From the number 15, love.
Clever play from the experienced veteran. Well, you never forget that Australian Open final where he went head-to-head with the great Roger Federer. Decided in 4 sets. Unfortunately for the Cypriot, he had to bundle out with the runners-up medal, but he really did make a name for himself all the way back there in 2006. Really is crazy to think that the man is still just 25 years of age. It does seem like he's been around an eternity, Marcus Baghdatis. Career high, number 8 in the world, remember, back in August of 2006, later on that same year. Well, he's more than happy to battle it out from the baseline. Baghdatis waiting for the error. Once again, it comes from the 19-year-old's end. Fairly comfortable once again on the receiving, on the service game, I should say, for Baghdatis. 36 of his 44 service points won now, 82%. Impressive stuff from the Cypriot. Ties the scores up once again at 4 games all. Well, this time the long rally in favour of Dimitrov. Finds himself in a better position here. Service game. Game number 9 of the second set. On 35 of his 52 service points so far, the Bulgarian. Wow, so close. The head gets thrown back. Disbelief from Grigor Dimitrov. Look at that style. Very Federer-like, isn't it? One-handed backhand, elegant as you like. Unfortunately, the forehand just going wide, a good centimetre or so. Nearly was the perfect lob shot. Just drifting long over that baseline. Again, active at the net. It's been the one area, I'd have to say, where Baghdatis just hasn't found an answer to combat the play of Dimitrov. Wow, 2 times in this game we've seen him latch onto that left-hand side. Double backhand down the line. Tight battle taking place here in game 9. A break here, well, that could almost be the match. Digging deep once again. Wow. Well, there's no German in action, but I tell you what, the locals would be loving this tennis that we're seeing here on the centre court. Tit for tat. Nothing separating these two in the second set. It'll be interesting to see if he's going to serve to his double backhand side once again. Yeah, we see a different change of tactic there. We saw 2 fantastic returns from the double backhand side. Well, Mr. Nano is going to leave the chair, and he's saying that one was out. So a double fault for the young man. He thought he had done enough to hold on. We'll see it here in the replay. Oy. Very, very tight. And he's pleading his case. Well, you're not going to change the chair umpire's mind. It was a very tight call, and wow, on that replay, I think that might have just taken the line. Unfortunate for the teenager. Back to juice for a second time. No arguments this time. Not at all. Clearly inside the line that time from Dimitrov. First ace in the match for the young Bulgarian. Opportunity to hold once again. 2 in a row. He's finding his rhythm, the young man. Impressive stuff from the danger zone. He is able to hold on once again as his nose ahead by 5 games to 4. Well, this has been top class tennis so far today. The first match of 4 coming your way. Very, very tight between these two players. And well, you think about what each of these players have been through. One is, well, coming, well, it'd be tough to say coming to the near end of his future, but he's really been around a long time as Baghdatis. Well, on the other end of the court, Grigor Dimitrov, just 19 years of age, trying to kickstart his junior career, his senior career from a successful junior campaign. Former junior world #1, 2-time Grand Slam winner for the boys. Currently ranked 69 in the world, yet to be in a quarter-final of an ATP event. Well, both players really starting to heat up at the service line. 5th ace for Baghdatis. 30-15, or 15 all, I should say. Really is struggling on that receiving end, being the story of the match so far. Again, too late onto that one, straight into the net. Ace to wrap it up. 2 aces in that service game. Again, continuing to look strong from his own service game, Marcus Baghdatis. 50 service points now for him, 41 of them won. And we're tied up once again. Well, is this match going to be decided in a tiebreak? Both guys very, very confident with their own serve. They're delivering at the moment. Well, one lapse in concentration here. Could see the set fall away for the respective player.
beide. 15 over.
Well, from no aces at all, this young man has put down 3 in the last 10 minutes. And with that, puts himself on the front foot here in service game. Game number 11. Just a little bit of hesitation there. He almost had too much time on that occasion. He saw Baghdatis go early. A little grin on the face of his coach, Peter McNamara, the Australian. Been around a while. Good use of the angles. It really was. He worked both sides of the court well. Had Baghdatis on the scramble. Holds on. We're yet to see a break here in this second set. Very, very tight indeed. 6 games to 5 in favor of the young Bulgarian. Wow, how tight is it here in the second set? Games have gone in favour of the server, and well, you can't really say that Baghdatis has dropped his standard at all. He's still been very sharp, but it's just been his younger opponent who's picked up his game. So Baghdatis to serve to try and take this to a tie break in the second set. Very good serve once again from the Cypriot. This really has been a remarkable turnaround in form for the 25-year-old. Trying to use that angle once again, just overcooking it though. First point on the receiving end here. Game number 12 for Dimitrov. Scrambling again. Incredibly, Dimitrov has only been able to win 10 points from 54. 10 points of the service game from Baghdatis. Tremendous, really. 19% on the receiving end. Well, he lost his footing there. Unfortunate, just tripping over his own feet, and he looks like he's got quite big feet too, the young Bulgarian. So, what a fitting way to decide who will take out the second set. A tie-break. Really has been extremely tight between these two players who are separated by 44 places on the ranking. There we see a tumble. He's a tall man, standing at 6'2". Well, just couldn't control the legs on that occasion. So he's to serve first in this tiebreak. First to 7, of course, must win by 2 clear points. There to cover it up. Defending the net very well. Both players get their opening point off their serve. Got such a solid all-round game, does Baghdatis. Doesn't matter where he is on the court. He's always playing the shot full of confidence. Oy. Almost sat on top of the net that time. A lot of oohs and ahs from the crowd. You just have a feeling the first person to break a service point could run away with it here in the second set tiebreak. Forehand winner under pressure. Camping himself on the baseline that time. Had all the time in the world. Deep return. That was the cause behind that loose return from Baghdatis. Wonderful execution. Oh, couldn't follow up that strong serve. First point against the server. It's in favour of Baghdatis, who now has 2 serves to try and extend that lead. Well, as the players change ends here in this second set tiebreak. Frustration on the face of Dimitrov. Again, that inability to return that second serve. He's in position. He had all the time in the world. Again, just too hard and flat, straight into the net. Well, almost halfway down the net. Looking strong now, Marcus Baghdatis. Semi-finalist here last year. He would love to do the same, if not better, in 2011. Oh, what a passing shot. Just when you think the wind has been knocked out of the young man's sails, he fights back once again. Coming to the net, Baghdatis. Little room down the line. Somehow just squeezes that one out. Well, he needs to forget about it, the young man. Frustration settling in. He knows it was a bad mistake. Refusing to lie down. Aggressive play from the 19-year-old. What an ending this is to this second round clash between these two players who have never faced off before on an ATP Tour event. 5 games to 4. 2 services now for Baghdatis. Well, you don't need to be a mathematician. If he holds on here to both service, he will wrap up the match. Wow. Talk about coming off the sweet spot. He hit that forehand extremely hard. And now 2 match points for the number 4 seed. Looking to continue this turnaround in form. Oh, not just yet. First match point down the drain for Baghdatis. Dimitrov with the serve now. Needs to save this once again, or it will be good night nurse for the teenager. Spraying it wide, consecutive points for Dimitrov. He stays alive here in this tiebreak. 6 points apiece. Wow. Nothing separating these two at the moment. The story of the second set so far. Another ace, big one that is. Ace number 4. And now from match point in favor of Baghdatis, it is now set point in favor of Dimitrov. There goes the set. What a fight back. And his mother is happy, his coach is happy. And Grigor Dimitrov is happy once again. What a fight back it was. He looked in trouble. He saved 2 match points. And now this round 2 clash is going to go to a third and deciding set to see who will move on to the quarterfinals. Will it be Dimitrov for the very first time in his career? Or will Baghdatis be able to dig deep and rediscover that form that we saw in that opening set? Exciting stuff. 1 hour and 37 minutes this match has now been going for. So what a fantastic way to start day number 3 here at the 2011 BMW Open, coming to you live from the 𝕽𝖆𝖆𝖃 Tennis Club in Munich. Just when you thought the number 4 seed was doing things comfortably, we are now off into a third and deciding set to see who will move on to the quarterfinals. Baghdatis taking out the opening set 6-3. Dimitrov taking out the second in a tiebreak. Exciting stuff here. Who will stand up and deliver in the third? Nothing wrong with that receiving shot that time. Into position, unloading on that forehand side. Well, that was the 6th tiebreak that Baghdatis has been in 2011 so far. He now has a record of 3-3. 50% for him. Similar stat for Dimitrov. That was his 4th tiebreak. He's now 2-2, the young man. Well, just a little bit too long. Dimitrov not too sure about the call. He was in a strong position there, 15-30. And well, you just get a sense the momentum in favour of the young man now. Just knocked the wind out of sails, really, of the Cypriot. Losing at that final hurdle in the tiebreak after having 2 match points. We're continuing to see some fantastic rallies here in the 3rd. It's been tennis at the highest level, I have to say. Well, how many times have you seen a player squander match points and then go down to lose the match? It really is heartbreaking for those involved. Well, after falling behind early, Baghdatis fights back in his opening service game. Puts himself ahead by 1 game to love. Well, the last time we saw a break of serve was game number 4 of that opening set. And there you see the dark clouds overhead. As mentioned, thunderstorms forecasted for later on this afternoon here in Munich. Let's just hope they hold out here, because this could turn out to be a cracking day at the 𝕽𝖆𝖆𝖃 Tennis Club. Continuing to work that backhand side of Baghdatis. It's been a clear tactic so far. Well, after that disappointment of that opening set. Haven't seen as much movement to the net that we saw in those initial stages of set number 2. Oh, how did he return that? It was a low return from Baghdatis. He scrambled into the net. He thought he had found open space, but the quick feet once again of Dimitrov refusing to give up. And look at that. Almost over the shoulder, coming around the body. And he's one happy camper, that's for sure. Look where he took that second serve. He was almost on the service box, in between the service box and the baseline, and it paid off in the end. Read like a book that time from Baghdatis. Another hold of service for Grigor Dimitrov. Ties the scores up at 1 game apiece, and you just feel that it's going to be one silly lack of concentration, one silly drop that is going to determine the difference between these two players. Well, there's just about to be another second round singles clash kickstart on court number 4 over the back here from the main court, and it sees Petito Staracci, the Italian, taking on Sergio Stakovsky from the Ukraine. Stakovsky, the number 6 seed here this week. I'll keep you updated with the scores of that match there on court number 4 as it progresses. Oh, wow. Really, Baghdatis should have put a little bit more on that smash. Set up nicely here, close to the net. Open space on the right, and he just tapped it really. Refusing to give up. Down the line, another winner for Dimitrov. Fantastic stuff. Well, this is a strong position now for the teenager on the receiving end. He hasn't really been in a strong position for a large part of this match so far. On the serve of Baghdatis. So many times he's got to 15-30, just hasn't been able to have that ability to push on. Wow, wow, wow. Another error from Baghdatis. The wheels just starting to fall off for the Cypriot. 2 break points now for the Bulgarian. There it is, the first break. And his mum is one happy lady. The first break of service by Dimitrov. First time he's really been able to apply pressure on the receiving end, and well, that could be a huge break. He now leads by 2-1 in this third and deciding set. Well, that was just the second break that we've seen so far in this match. The first being in game number 4 of that opening set. And well, to be fair, neither player has even looked like breaking their opponent's serve. But the young man, Grigor Dimitrov, was able to do so in game number 3 of this third set. And it now puts the young man in a very, very strong position. Interesting to see now what his hunger's like. Can he continue to push on here with his own service game? Look to put himself out to a 3-1 lead. Well, he's been a lot more consistent with his service game since that middle stages really of that second set, and that's what's been able to turn around the momentum that his opponent was able to build up in those initial stages. Now he's the one dictating the pace of these rallies. Well, he hasn't missed the first up serve here in game number 4. He's come out here showing a lot of determination to convert and to cash in from that vital break in game number 3. Well, is that ace in number 5? It sure is. Just taking the line. Impressive display there in game number 4. He converts on the break. He is now in a very, very strong position. And it's safe to say the momentum well in favor of the young Bulgarian. making every post a winner in his first ever appearance here in Munich at the BMW Open. First of 5 German tournaments to take place on the ATP World Tour this year. Well, he just wasn't missing that in the opening set, was he? He really wasn't. The head starting to drop. Body language not looking as strong as what it did in that opening, well, 45 minutes of the match. Well, and again. This is where you just start to think if match play is lacking for Marcus Baghdatis. He hasn't really been playing too much this year with all those losses. Court time as well, been very few and far between. Well, he knew as soon as he struck it. He was in position. Wasn't too much on that second serve from Baghdatis, but just a little bit too over-aggressive in the end. Wow, look at that. Who would have thought? Aurelia's running away with things here in this third set. 2 break points once again for Dimitrov. Didn't look like breaking at all in the opening 2 sets. Well, he's breaking at will now. Consecutive breaks in favour of the young man. Wow. That tie-break loss has really mentally destroyed Marcus Baghdatis. He's come out here a very different player in this third and deciding set. It is now a 4-game-to-1 lead in favour of Dimitrov, and he will come out with the serve. So time is called from the chair, and once again it's been a great turnout here. Early afternoon, just past 2:15 in the afternoon here in Munich. And well, who would have thought? The world ranked 69 player in the driver's seat here against the number 4 seed and current world number 25, former top 10 player Marcus Baghdatis has been outplayed here in this third and deciding set. It's been disappointment, really. He looked so strong in those opening 2 sets. He really has just looked like he's gone back in his shell once again. Second crack at it, and he makes it pay on the second time around. 6 aces now for the young man. We didn't see one ace at all in that opening set. In fact, his first ace didn't come until game number 5 of set number 2. So he really has started to find the rhythm. He's just fallen away, I feel, from that original plan when he came out here. It was very solid. He played the percentages well. He waited for his opponent to make the errors. He was moving strong across the baseline. But now he just feels like he has to force things. And it's not paying off. And, well, when you're getting bullets being put down like that, there's nothing you can do about it. 202 kilometers per hour that time from Dimitrov. From his 9 matches that he's played in 2011, the young man, he has only put down 35 aces, so just under 3.5 aces per match he's been averaging. But, well, we've already seen 6 from the big man already in this match. To make that 7, holds on, converts, and is now just 1 game away from moving on to his maiden quarter-final appearance of his young career. What a great achievement it would be if he's able to seal the deal here. Disappointing for Baghdatis. I really do feel for him, because you just thought he was starting to turn around that big slump in form, and he's played some positive tennis here today. Unfortunately, lately, he's just been outplayed by a hungrier, fitter, and more aggressive opponent.
15 low.
Well, stating the blatant obvious here, it's important Baghdatis holds on. If he can build a bit of confidence here in this service game, attack the next service game of Dimitrov. Well, that's not going to help the cause whatsoever. Double fault number 2 for Baghdatis.
Continue. 14, 15.
Wow, what has happened? What has happened to the number 4 seed? A different man we're seeing out there at the moment. got to question his fitness and also just that mental strength after dropping that very close tiebreak that Dimitrov took out by 8 points to 6. After having 2 match points, remember, 2 match points he squandered. He stays alive, but it's just a matter of time now before the young 19-year-old tries to seal the deal and move on to the quarterfinals. So what a big occasion this is now for Grigor Dimitrov, the 19-year-old from Bulgaria. Turned professional in 2008, a former junior #1, 2-time Grand Slam winner for the boys. Looking to book his place in his first ever quarterfinal on the big stage. Well, he's a fighter, Baghdatis. Some great defensive work, but not enough in the end. Nothing can stop this young man at the moment. Playing his shots with confidence, controlling the ball, almost has the ball on a string, does the young Bulgarian. Well, too long over the baseline. And look at that, 2 match points after 2 hours and 10 minutes. Who would have thought? What a turnaround this has been. The best match of the week so far. It will be extremely hard to beat what has been such an interesting match. There it is. What a victory. The biggest victory of this young man's career so far. He has come back from the dead. He's taken it out in 3 sets and will move on to his maiden quarterfinal appearance on his ATP tour. Just 19 years of age. He saved 2 match points, remember. 2 huge points where he dug deep, fought back from the dead, and he took out that tie break after dropping the opening set. Well, it's been one-way traffic in set number 3. 6 games to do, breaking the serve of Baghdatis on 2 occasions, games 3 and 5, when he really didn't even look like breaking at all in the previous games from the Cypriot. So another early exit for Marcus Baghdatis, a story of 2011 for the 25-year-old. The number 4 seed will be packing his bags and leaving Munich. Unfortunately, he was a semi-finalist last year, but will not get past the second round here in 2011. Of course, though, we wish him all the best for the remainder of the ATP World Tour. Huge congratulations to the young man, 19 years of age, a former junior number 1, ranked 69 in the world at the moment. He will move on to the quarterfinals on Friday and will take on the winner of match number 3 that's coming to your way today from the center court. 𝕽𝖆𝖔𝖘𝖆𝖛 from Russia taking on Florian Mayer of Germany. So what a great start to day number 3. We're going to take a short break now, but when we return, the action will continue. And my word, it's going to be another intriguing match. 𝕽𝖆𝖔𝖘𝖆𝖛, champion 12 months ago here, number 1 seed, taking on Philipp Petschner, German, who played extremely well yesterday. Don't go too far. Action set to continue here at the BMW Open 2011.